Welcome to Bobblehead Homestead. I'm Jeff. It's been 8 months waiting on this skid steer to be fixed to the condition I can use it. I took a sabbatical, but it's time to start making videos again. Welcome back to Bobblehead Homestead. It has been a good break from YouTube. I'm sorry, it wasn't planned, it happened, and I was telling myself, I'll wait until I've got my skid steer and then I'll start making videos again, because several times in the past it's happened where you get some momentum and then you lose all your momentum waiting for other stuff to happen. So I just took a break. It's been nice. I went through a whole year of 12, 14-hour days just grinding it, and yeah, now I don't need to worry as much about things, so I've been enjoying my freedom, reducing my stress, and enjoying that, and planning for the future. But yes, I will be back. The skid steer is done. A little story on that, my last video was probably I think it was the stump bucket. I'll be showing you all that later. But yeah, I got it. It's all my fault, what can you say? But it was at another channel's place, air conditioning, it'll be a week, no problem, I've done this before, no big deal. And it was over there for 3 months, and so I finally had to just go get it. Went and got it, brought it here, and immediately when I got it home, it was having more problems than when I had bought it. So we noticed first thing when we unloaded it off the trailer that the ignition switch was sticking. So that was, foretelling of what was to come next. So we unloaded off the trailer, I parked it, and then I went out later to move it because it was in the way of one of my vehicles, and it wouldn't start. So Wiley, brainstormed with him, figured out it was the starter, and the starter had probably gone bad because that ignition switch was sticking. Just like a car, if your car's already running and you turn that ignition key, that's not good for your starter. So that's probably what had happened to it, was that ignition switch sticking was not taken care of, so the starter went out. And then, okay, so, it's a week, you got to order the starter. It was probably 10 days before we got the starter in, after, ordering it and all the shipping and stuff. And next door neighbor helped me get that starter in. And all right, so we got it running again. And I started doing some fiddling around out here in the yard. And let's take a look at that.
My phone's over.
Well, that ain't good. No good for a YouTuber.
Yeah, I know.
All right, Wiley's helping me out.
The thing looks good in my trailer.
I think it does too. I think it does too. I mean, the John Deere green and the Caterpillar, it doesn't clash as much as people say. I think they go together well.
I mean, luckily I'm colorblind and it almost looks the same to me.
There we go. All right, we're off to our next destination. Okay, so here we are 7 months after I had bought it. It had only been used a few times. And this Grapple, that was another thing. When that cylinder was leaking, I still wanted to test out the Grapple to make sure that was working. So Wiley came over and he tested out the Grapple with me, you know, just for a few minutes, because you don't want to run it too much with the with that cylinder leaking. But yeah, so got the Grapple on there, and I think I got some footage of Wiley using the Grapple for the first time. I'll do a more in-depth video on this Grapple later. Oh man, this thing's cool. Anyway, so Wiley tested it out, and I wanted to test it out for myself. So a little bit later that day, got it on there, got it working, and you know, I was just testing it, and we got it tilted all the way so it was like coming down to grab stuff. Anyway, the hoses were too short for it to bend all the way down, and you know, so they busted off. So yeah. It's just been one thing after another, and you got to figure that with a used machine. This is 20 years old, and it's just like any older vehicle. When you get something used like this, you need to, you know, budget for more money into it to you know, bring it back up to the level that you need it. You know, buying a $4,000 car, you got to figure, you know, does it need tires? Does it need you know, mechanical work, timing belt, blah 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 blah. So same thing on this. So I had budgeted more for than what I had paid for this, and yeah, what I should have done right off the bat, take it to the cat dealership, get it done, pay that price, and go on with my life. But I live and learned. So we got to the cat dealership. They had it about a week. That winter storm hit, and that, you know, pushed them back because nobody was getting to work. It'd been nice to have this during the winter storm. Everybody around here could have gotten out of their driveways. But But yeah, so they had it for, I don't know, 2-3 weeks, and then gave me a call. I went in and paid the ginormous bill, and that's the story. I have it back. Seems to be doing great, and I am ready to start making videos. Good morning. Today is Friday, February 6th. Something big is happening today. I have been waiting for this day for 8 some months now. Yeah, it's getting a little ridiculous, but it's happening today, and I'm gonna take you along. All right, my helper's coming down the road. You can probably tell who that is. Probably. I'm gonna stop and talk to him in a minute. Maybe he'll tell you where we're going today. Let's see. Oh, we gotta stop and talk. The hillbilly hauler, working with Wiley. Am I interrupting anything?
I was filming you, filming me.
Okay, cool. We'll get it going. All right, I haven't told him where we're going today.
Okay.
You can do the honors, though. Where are we headed?
We're headed to a Caterpillar dealership in Russellville, Arkansas to pick up Jeff's new toy.
Skid steer. 8 months later, I'm finally getting it fixed. All right, we're gonna head out. Thanks so much working with Wiley. I'll give you the whole scoop on the skid steer saga. But here we go, off to Russellville. All right, Wiley's filling up the hillbilly hauler here with some. But look who we ran into at the gas station. Yay, Rachel and Sean, back to good. Yeah. And I haven't seen Sean in a while. How you guys making it through the winter horribleness?
Up. It's supposed to be 70 today, so I don't care. I'm just glad that sunshine is here this week because I'm tired of being cold. And yeah, I'm exhausted from shoveling and slipping. So yeah, we're good.
Cool. Look at that mountain in the background. This is beautiful. This audio might not be good because this is on my phone, but
it's a little windy. So.
Yeah.
It's funny you talking about that being 70 degrees today. You know, on our side of the mountain, it's still covered in snow.
Oh no, and ours is like all melted.
And whenever I come outside, I'm like, I have to put a jacket on because I mean all this snow on the ground, but it's 70 degrees.
Yeah.
So I had to take my jacket off and throw it in the truck.
Yeah, I know. I just did the same thing because I was all bundled up. I had my sweatshirt,
yeah,
and my big winter coat on, and my hat, and my scarf. I just had to unbundle all that, even though it is a little windy today. But
yeah, we're ready for spring, aren't we?
I am absolutely ready.
What's coming up on your channel?
Getting back to work because we haven't done anything in like a week. It's been too cold and we've been doing shoveling.
There's been 2 inches of ice.
Yes.
It wasn't snow, it was ice on the ground.
The news is that we finally got the car out of the road for the first time in like a week. So yeah, but we do have another big surprise coming.
All right, go check out Back to Good.
We're gonna go take care of that today, hopefully.
All right, I'm taking care of something big today too.
Oh yes, you are. Yeah, that's going to be very exciting. You know what? I can't even tell you how many people ask about you, wondering if you're okay and if you're coming back. And I'm like, yeah, he's coming back. It's going to be big.
Yep. We're getting there. All right. I don't know. This is the first time I film with this phone. I have no idea. We'll see.
All right, Jeff. We'll catch you later.
Heck
Wiley.
yeah. made it home. Thank you, thank you, thank you once again.
No problem.
Wiley helped me move it from the shop to Caterpillar. So you'll see some of those clips. And now today, brought it home from Russellville. It's about an hour, a little over an hour.
A little over an hour. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it's on the far side of Russellville.
Right.
Not too bad. Beautiful day. 72 degrees.
Beautiful day.
Yep. I even had the little sunroof on and my Toyota open for a while. That was kind of fun. I never do that. All right. Well, I got Wiley here. I want to explain, because he's better than me, some of the stuff that Caterpillar did to it. All right. So, like, the main thing was the bushings.
The main thing I was took it in for was the bushings down here at this joint wore smooth out. And my understanding is they welded that all up and bored it out and then put bushings in there. So now we can actually change bushings if we needed to. It was not built that way from the factory. But if it wears out again, it can be changed, bushings be changed.
Okay. And the problem with that was it was loose.
Very loose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing on the cylinders here.
Tilt cylinders.
Tilt cylinders, yep. Same thing there on the ends. They was wore out, and they had to go in and hone them out and put bushings in there. He also had a new cutting edge put on the bucket. Then, let's see, the lift cylinders back here, these main lift cylinders, we had to have them repacked, and they also repacked the tilt cylinders down there. So everything here's new, should be no leaks.
Yep, that one was leaking pretty bad.
Was it this one? I was thinking it was the one on the other side. But whichever.
Yeah, whichever.
One was leaking really bad, and one just had a seep in it, but they went ahead and repacked them, so that should be taken care of.
Yeah.
They also changed fluids, oil. I think they changed the filters on the hydraulic system. Done a little... Oop.
Yeah, one of the big repairs was the foot pedal was sticking, and you would notice that when you tested it out around here.
Here, and then whenever I picked it up over there, it works great and smooth.
Yep. And that was, that was maybe gotten around, but once it gets stuck, then it's, then you're...
For me, that wouldn't be a big deal, because I've run these machines. I've got many, many hours on one of these machines, and I always just use the main throttle and throttle it up and go. I don't ever use the foot feed anyway. So, matter of fact, I'm not even aware that some of the machines I ran actually had a foot feed. I don't know. I always just use the main throttle.
But still, it was better getting it repaired and not having to deal with an issue.
For somebody learning how to drive one that has that option, also that would make a big deal. I mean, that'll help you out. Also, what was it? The heater and the air conditioner.
Yeah.
Had it worked on over there.
Yeah, they said the heat worked fine. It was too cold to test the air conditioner. So that was interesting. But yeah, the heat works fine. And we'll just deal with the air conditioning later. One thing they mentioned was it's not like a car air conditioner. This is powered by the hydraulic system. And so if the hydraulic fluid was low, which it was, that might have contributed to
it not working.
But
makes sense.
Yep. So the air conditioning might be fine. It might just need, Freon. We'll deal with that. Here in a few weeks, it's going to get hot.
It's pretty warm today. Being used to these cold temperatures, and the 70 degrees is hot. Yeah. I think that's really about it, wasn't it, Jeff?
Yeah. Little stuff. The engine had been replaced not that long ago, so there's no issues with the engine in that regard. This was just hydraulic, mostly.
Right.
And they got, I took the Caterpillar. They did a thorough checkup on everything. This should be good to go for another decade for the stuff they did. Now I'll need tracks, and there might be some of those rollers I'll have to replace. It just depends on how much I use it and what I use it for. But this should be a fine machine for me.
But that's all wear items. I mean, I don't care. You know, you're going. That's going to happen regardless. You know, it's not anything.
And from here on out, a lot, you know, stuff that comes up, you might be able to take care of that instead of having to take it to a dealer.
Most of this stuff, yeah, I don't see why we couldn't.
All right. Thank you once again, Wiley.
Yes, sir. Glad to do it for you.
Yep. Go check out Working with Wiley. He's got some video from today. You might see that before this. I don't know. But if you haven't seen his channel, go check it out. So, yeah, the lack of content. There hasn't been a lot else going on around here the past 8 months because the projects that I have planned, that's why I got this. You know, I need a house pad. I need to level some land for, you know, a carport or, you know, just fencing. Fencing. You know, that's why I got this. So all of my projects were on hold until this thing was fixed. So that was a big reason. It was a good time for me to take a sabbatical. And the other reason is I needed to know how much it was going to cost to fix this so that I knew what my budget was for other projects coming later. You know, is it going to be $2,000? Is it going to be 10 grand? You know, until somebody gets in there and gives you, you know, the bill, you know, you're not going to know until a week before it's fixed how much it's going to cost. So that was the other thing, is I really couldn't be spending any more money until I knew what the final cost of getting this, you know, in working order was going to be. So, all right, now I know what the final cost is. That eats way into my budget for other projects. That's okay. I can still get a lot done with this in the meantime. And so that is the skid steer saga and the reason for my 8-month sabbatical. You probably see me, you know, bopping around on other channels here and there. I've had Mary and Rachel over here helping me bulbs. I went over to their place and helped Mary plant some bulbs. And, you know, as usual, me and Wiley and Jen are, you know, teaming up for this and that and the other. So, you know, I haven't just been a hermit. I've been getting around and doing what I can, having fun. There's another surprise for an upcoming video. That's probably, yeah. Anyway, where was I at before I got interrupted by a new kitty? So there you go, having fun, enjoying life. This is, you know, the first time in decades where I've not been worried about having to pay my bills the next month. So I've had a little bit of a, you know, financial freedom. I'm not set for life or anything like that, but it was just good to get away from the stress, get out of the rat race. And I've been doing YouTube, you know, for 8 years now. That's a lot of time and effort, so it was good to take a break from that. And it's just been it's been a good 8 months for me. And even if I had been making videos, who wants to hear me for 8 months? When I get my skid steer, I'm gonna do this. When I get my skid steer, I'm gonna do that. If I had my skid steer, I could do this. If I had my skid steer, I could help them doing what they're doing. If I had nobody wants to hear me whining and complaining about not having a skid steer for 8 months. So I just saved you all the pain and suffering of of me complaining for 8 months about not having my skid steer. All right, I guess that's gonna be about it for this video. Look for more coming soon. My next video might be a doozy for some of you. You know, not much has been going on, but there have been a few key things that have happened over the last 8 months, and now I'll have some momentum, and I'll have some good content coming up, getting projects worked on, and hopefully helping other people with their projects. So yeah, I hope to have some really good stuff coming up. Won't be daily, you never know with me, but yeah. Cool. Got my Caterpillar, a 257B skid steer track loader, 2005. What is it? A 4-cylinder diesel engine. The engine had been replaced however many hours ago, So all that's in great shape. It was, you know, kind of the hydraulic stuff that was, you know, just getting old and beat up. So this thing should have a ton of life left in it, and I'm already having fun. You'll be seeing those videos. I've been out here using it, you know, just testing it. I still don't know what I'm doing, but yeah, this thing is just so much fun, and I can't wait to bring you along for the ride. So thanks for watching. Thanks for everything. Take it easy.